Have you ever been sitting, maybe watching TV or reading, and when you stand up, your feet are buzzing with that pins and needles feeling? Or maybe you feel it at night, a strange tingling, a burning sensation, or even a sense of coldness in your toes that just won't go away, even under the blankets. Most of us dismiss it. We say, "Oh, my foot must have fallen asleep," or "I was just sitting in a weird position." We shake it out and we move on. But what if I told you that sensation isn't poor circulation from sitting? What if it's not harmless at all? What if it's a silent, screaming alarm from the inside of your body? A warning sign that your nerves, the very cables that let you feel the world, are being actively damaged, choked, and are beginning to die? If you're feeling that tingling, that burning, or that creeping numbness, I need you to listen very closely. I know how frustrating and scary those sensations can be, and especially when you don't know why they're happening. As a doctor, this is one of the most serious and, tragically, one of the most common complications I see. It's called diabetic peripheral neuropathy. And that tingling is often the very first sign that high blood sugar is waging a war on your nervous system. In this video, we are going to do a deep dive. This isn't just going to be a quick overview. We're going to go step by step through exactly why this happens. I'm going to show you the precise mechanism of how sugar, a molecule you need for life, can become a toxin that destroys your nerves from the inside out. We'll trace the journey from that first pins and needles sensation to the sharp, stabbing pains, and finally to the most dangerous stage of all, complete numbness. And most importantly, I am going to lay out the comprehensive, evidence-based battle plan to stop this process. Protect your feet and reclaim your quality of life. You need to understand this.
So, the first question my patients always ask is, "Doctor, why my feet? Why not my arms or my back?" It's an excellent question, and the answer is at the very heart of this problem. This condition has a classic pattern that we doctors call a stocking glove distribution. It almost always starts in your toes and the soles of your feet, and then, over time, it slowly creeps up your legs as if you were pulling on a pair of stockings. Long after it starts in the feet, it may begin to affect your fingertips and hands, creeping up your arms like a pair of gloves. Why? Because peripheral neuropathy attacks your longest, most vulnerable nerves first. I want you to think of your nervous system as an incredibly complex electrical grid for your house. Your spinal cord is the main breaker box in the basement. From that box, you have thick cables that run to different parts of the house. The nerve that goes from your lower back all the way down to your big toe is the longest, most complex wire in your entire body. Just like a long extension cord, this nerve has a huge energy demand. It needs a massive, constant supply of oxygen and nutrients to stay healthy and transmit its signals properly. Now, imagine what happens when you have high blood sugar or diabetes. We often think of diabetes as a blood sugar problem, but in reality, it's a vascular problem. It's a disease of your blood vessels. That high circulating glucose is sticky, abrasive, and inflammatory. It causes damage to the linings of your blood vessels, especially the tiniest, most delicate ones. And what feeds your nerves? Even smaller, microscopic blood vessels called the vasa vasorum. This is a Latin term that literally means the vessels of the vessels. These are the tiny, hair-like capillaries that are responsible for bringing that life-giving oxygen and nutrition directly to the nerve tissue itself. When high blood sugar is in the picture, it's like pouring sludge into that delicate delivery system. The vasa vasorum become damaged, stiff, and clogged. So, Let's go back to that long nerve running to your toe. It's at the end of the line. It's the furthest point from the power station. It is entirely dependent on these tiny, microscopic blood vessels to keep it alive. When those vessels get clogged with sugar-driven damage, the nerve begins to starve. It's literally being suffocated. And what does a nerve do when it's being suffocated? It doesn't just go silent. At first it misfires, it panics. That pins and needles feeling, that tingling, buzzing, or prickling, that is the sound of a nerve cell that is being irritated. It's sending out random, chaotic signals to your brain. It's not receiving a real signal from the outside world. You're not actually being poked by pins, it's just short-circuiting. It's the nerve crying out for help. It's the very first sign that the nutrient and oxygen supply has been compromised. This is not a circulation problem in the way you think, like a blood clot in a big artery. This is a microcirculation problem, a disease of the smallest vessels, that is leading to a metabolic crisis inside the nerve itself. This is why you must take it seriously. That tingling is not a normal part of aging. It's not just a pinched nerve. If you have high blood sugar, prediabetes, or undiagnosed type 2 diabetes, that tingling is a fire alarm. It's the earliest, most reversible stage, and it's telling you that the damage has begun, starting at the furthest, most vulnerable point in your body, your feet. To truly understand how to fight this, you need to understand your enemy. And the enemy here is something we call glucotoxicity, literally, glucose poisoning. When your blood sugar is chronically high, your entire body, including your nerve cells, is marinating in a high sugar environment. And your nerves have a critical vulnerability. Unlike your muscles or fat cells, which need insulin to let glucose in, your nerve cells can absorb glucose freely without any key. This means when your blood sugar is 150, 200, or 300, your nerve cells are also filled with that exact same toxic level of glucose. They are completely defenseless against the flood. And once that much sugar gets inside the nerve, it unleashes a three-pronged chemical attack that just shreds the nerve's internal machinery. Attack number 1, the sorbitol pathway, the nerve explodes. Normally, your cells use glucose for energy. But when there's too much glucose flooding the nerve cell, a backup emergency pathway gets activated, called the sorbitol pathway. The cell tries to protect itself by converting this excess glucose into a different sugar alcohol, called sorbitol. But this solution is actually a new, even bigger problem. Sorbitol is osmotically active. This is a scientific way of saying it acts like a sponge. It draws water into the nerve cell. I want you to picture this. The nerve cell, flooded with sugar, creates these little sorbitol sponges, which then pull in water, causing the nerve cell to swell up from the inside like a water balloon. This is called osmotic stress. This swelling is catastrophic. It damages the cell's scaffolding, it puts physical pressure on the delicate internal structures, and most importantly, it uses up all of the cell's antioxidant defenses, a molecule called NADPH, in the process of making the sorbitol. So, the nerve is now swollen, under pressure, and has just used up its entire firefighting team. It is now completely vulnerable to the second attack. Attack number 2, oxidative stress, the rusting free radicals. Because the nerve cell's antioxidant defenses, its rust-proofing, are now depleted, this flood of glucose triggers a massive, uncontrolled chemical fire. This is oxidative stress. High sugar levels kick the cell's energy factories, the mitochondria, into overdrive. As they frantically try to process all this excess fuel, they spew out toxic, unstable byproducts. We call these free radicals. A free radical is like a tiny, ricocheting bullet, a rogue molecule that bounces around inside the cell, punching holes in the cell membrane, damaging its DNA, and destroying its proteins. It is pure, unadulterated chaos. This is the rusting of your nerve cell from the inside out. This is what really starts to damage the nerve's ability to send a signal. That fraying wire we talked about, this is the chemical process that is fraying it. The insulation on the wire, the myelin sheath, gets eaten away. The wire itself, the axon, gets damaged. The signal becomes weak, staticky, and broken. This is when the tingling starts to turn into sharp, zapping, electrical pains. Attack number 3, the caramelization of your nerves, ages. The third attack is perhaps the most insidious. High, uncontrolled glucose in your bloodstream does something else. It glycates proteins. Glycation is a simple chemical reaction. It's when a sugar molecule sticks to a protein or a fat molecule with no enzyme needed. It just happens. The best analogy for this is caramelization. If you put a piece of chicken, protein, in a sugary marinade, glucose, and put it on the grill, body heat, what happens? It turns brown, sticky, and stiff. That is exactly what is happening to the structures of your nerves. The proteins that make up your nerve's structure, the proteins that make up the vasa vasorum blood vessels, are all getting caramelized by the high sugar. These new sticky molecules are called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. And they are terrible news. These AGEs are stiff, dysfunctional, and highly inflammatory. They latch onto the nerve, and your body's own immune system sees them as foreign and launches an inflammatory attack against your own tissues. So let's put this all together. Your nerve is starving for oxygen because its tiny blood vessels, the vasa vasorum, are clogged, swelling from the inside out as it turns glucose into water-drawing sorbitol, rusting from a massive storm of free radicals, oxidative stress, caramelizing and becoming stiff and inflamed from ages. This is a multi-front war, and this is why it is so critical to understand. This is not a minor side effect. This is a direct, toxic chemical destruction of your nerves, and if it's not stopped, it progresses down a very predictable and very dangerous path. The journey of neuropathy is a tragic one, and it's so cruel because it tricks you. It unfolds in stages, and the transition from one stage to the next is a critical and often misunderstood part of the disease. Stage 1, the tingling alarm, paresthesia. This is where we started. This is the pins and needles, the burning, the prickling, the tingling. As we've discussed, this is the irritation phase. The nerve is starving, it's being sugar-soaked, and it's misfiring. It's an alarm bell. It's your body telling you something is very, very wrong. This stage can go on for months or even years. It's often worse at night. Patients will tell me, "Doctor, I can't stand the bedsheets on my feet." This brings us to the next brutal stage. Stage 2, the fire phase, painful neuropathy. As the nerve damage gets worse, as that oxidative stress and inflammation ramp up, the tingling often progresses into true, agonizing pain. This is not a dull ache. This is a special neuropathic pain that is its own kind of torture. My patients describe it in very specific, sensory terms. It feels like I'm walking on broken glass. It's a stabbing, jabbing pain that comes out of nowhere. It's like electric shocks shooting up my legs. My feet feel like they are on fire or being dipped in ice. One of the most characteristic features is allodynia. This is a medical term for when a sensation that should not be painful becomes excruciating. This is the bedsheet phenomenon. The light, gentle touch of a cotton sheet or a sock brushing against the skin can send a jolt of white-hot pain. Why? Because the nerve is now profoundly damaged. It has lost its insulation. It's like a live wire that's been stripped bare. Any signal it receives, even a light touch, is misinterpreted by the brain as a pain signal. The nerve has lost all its subtlety. It's not tingling anymore, it is screaming. This stage is, frankly, hellish. It destroys sleep, it limits mobility, it can lead to deep depression and anxiety. And this is the point where many people finally seek serious medical help. But then, something changes. And this is the cruelest trick of all. Stage 3, the silent phase, numbness. After months or years of this agonizing pain, some patients come back to me and say, "Doctor, great news. My feet stopped hurting. I think I'm cured." And my heart sinks. Because in 99% of these cases, the pain didn't go away because the nerve healed. The The pain went away because the nerve died. The wire is no longer frayed and sparking. It has been cut. The fire alarm that was ringing so loudly has finally burned down, and the building is now silent. This is the stage of complete numbness. This is, without question, the single most dangerous stage of diabetic peripheral neuropathy. Why? Because you can no longer protect what you can't feel. Your ability to feel pain is a gift. It's your body's essential defense system. Pain is the signal that tells you to stop, danger. Pain is what makes you pull your hand off a hot stove. Pain is what tells you that new shoe is rubbing a blister on your heel. Pain is what makes you wince and check your foot when you step on a small pebble or a piece of glass. When you have numbness, that entire system is gone. You are walking through the world with no armor. You can step on a nail and not know it. You can get a tiny cut from a rough seam in your sock and not know it. You can wear shoes that are too tight, and they can rub your skin raw, down to the bone, and you will not feel a single thing. This is the silent sign. The lack of feeling is the sign. This is how the horror stories start. A small, unnoticed blister gets infected. Because the blood supply from that vasa vasorum damage is already poor, your body can't fight the infection effectively. The infection spreads from the skin to the soft tissue and then down to the bone. This is called osteomyelitis. By the time you notice a problem, maybe a bad smell or drainage in your sock, it's often too late. That small, painless injury has turned into a deep, non-healing diabetic foot ulcer. And that is the #1 pathway to a lower limb amputation. This entire catastrophic cascade, from ulcer to amputation, starts from one simple, silent thing: a loss of feeling. It starts because the pins and needles were ignored. It starts because the sugar was allowed to silently kill the nerve. This is the progression we must stop. And the good news is, we can. If you're hearing yourself in these descriptions, if you have the tingling, the burning, or the numbness, this is not a time for despair. This is a time for action. This is the moment you draw a line in the sand. Here is the 4-pillar plan I develop with my patients to protect their nerves and their future. Pillar 1, stop the poison. Aggressive blood sugar control. This is the foundation. This is the non-negotiable. Everything else I'm about to say is useless if we don't do this first. You must stop the glucotoxicity. You must stop marinating your nerves in sugar. The only thing that has ever been scientifically proven to stop the progression of diabetic peripheral neuropathy is intensive, consistent, and aggressive blood sugar control. What does that mean? It means working with your doctor to get your hemoglobin A1C, your 3-month sugar average, down to a safe level. For many, that's a target below 7.0%. For some, we might even aim for 6.5%, if it can be done safely. This is achieved through a multifaceted approach. Diet. This is paramount. You have to reduce the amount of sugar and refined carbohydrates, which turn into sugar, that you are putting into your body. This means moving away from white bread, pasta, sodas, juices, and sweets, and embracing whole foods, fiber, healthy fats, and proteins. Movement. Exercise acts like a key to get sugar out of your bloodstream and into your muscles without even needing insulin. Walking just 30 minutes a day can dramatically improve your blood sugar and blood flow to your feet. Medication. This is not a sign of failure. It's a tool. Whether it's metformin, SGLT2 inhibitors, GLP-1 agonists, or insulin itself, these are tools to help you get to your A1C goal and protect your nerves. I cannot overstate this. Blood sugar control is the treatment. It's the only way to stop the cause of the problem. The other pillars are about managing the consequences. Pillar 2. Become your own nervous system, the daily foot exam. This is the most important safety habit you will ever learn. If you are in stage 3, numbness, you no longer have a fire alarm. You must become the fire alarm. You must do what your nerves can no longer do for you. Every single night, before you get into bed, you must inspect your feet. Wash and dry. Wash your feet in lukewarm water. Test it with your elbow, not your numb foot. And dry them gently. especially between the toes. Look, sit in a well-lit area. Look at the soles, the tops, the heels, and in between every single toe. If you can't see the bottom of your feet, use a long-handled mirror, or have a family member help you. What are you looking for? Anything new? Blisters, cuts, scratches, red spots, calluses, or hot spots? Look for any break in the skin, no matter how small. Feel for any new swelling, hot spots, or tenderness. Moisturize. Use a good lotion on the tops and bottoms of your feet, but never between the toes, as that can breed fungus. If you find anything, a small cut, a blister, a red area, you must treat it with the seriousness of a major injury. Clean it, cover it, and stay off of it. If it doesn't look significantly better in 24 hours, you call your doctor or podiatrist immediately. This is not optional. This is how you save your feet. Pillar 3. Manage the symptoms, pain and symptom control. While you are working on Pillar 1 to stop the progression, we must address the pain and burning of Stage 2. You do not have to live in agony. We have specific, non-addictive medications that are designed to turn down the volume on hyperactive, painful nerves. These are not standard painkillers like ibuprofen or narcotics, which do not work for nerve pain. The main classes we use are gabapentinoids, e.g. gabapentin, pregabalin. These are anti-seizure drugs that work by calming down the misfiring, overexcited nerve cells. SNRIs, TCAs, e.g. duloxetine, amitriptyline. These are antidepressants that, at different doses, are incredibly effective at changing the perception of pain in the brain. Topicals, creams like capsaicin, made from chili peppers, or lidocaine can help numb the nerve endings at the skin level. The goal here is not to cure the pain, but to reduce it to a level where you can sleep, walk, and live your life. Pillar 4. Support the nerve, supplements and podiatry. Finally, we support the nerve's environment. B vitamins. Many people with diabetes, especially those on metformin, can become deficient in vitamin B12. A B12 deficiency itself causes neuropathy. We must test for this and supplement it. Alpha-lipoic acid, ALA. This is a powerful antioxidant that has shown some promise in studies, particularly in Germany, for reducing the pain and burning of neuropathy. It's a supplement to discuss with your doctor. See a podiatrist. A podiatrist, a foot doctor, should be a non-negotiable part of your diabetes care team. You should see them at least once a year for a full foot exam, and they are your partners in proper footwear and preventative care. Never cut your own calluses or corns. Let a professional handle it. This is the plan. It's comprehensive, it's proactive, and it works. It puts you back in the driver's seat.
So let's bring this all back to that simple pins and needles feeling. I hope you now see that it is not simple. It's not just poor circulation. It's a complex chemical and vascular crisis. It's the sound of your longest nerves starving for oxygen. It's the feel of them swelling, rusting, and caramelizing from a flood of sugar. That tingling is your body's early, desperate warning. The pain that follows is the nerve screaming as it dies. And the silence of numbness that comes after. That is the true danger.
Yeah.
It's the silent prelude to a life-changing injury. But it does not have to be your story. The takeaway from our time and together is this: you have the power to stop this. The progression from tingling to numbness is not inevitable. It is a direct consequence of uncontrolled blood sugar. Your first step is to take that tingling seriously. Go to your doctor. Get your blood sugar checked. Get your A1C checked. If you already know you have diabetes, this is your wake-up call to get into the tightest control of your life. Your second step is to become the fierce protector of your feet. Look at them, inspect them, and honor them. They are your foundation. If you found this video helpful, if you finally understand what's happening inside your body, please share this with someone you care about, a family member, a friend, someone who has mentioned that their feet are always tingling. You might just change their life. And please, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. I release new, in-depth videos every single week to help you understand your body and take back your health. Now, I want to hear from you. This is our consultation. What is your single biggest question or struggle when it comes to neuropathy? Or blood sugar control? Leave your questions and your stories in the comments below. I will do my best to answer as many as I can. Thank you for your time. Take action. Be well.